It's a quick product review for Vism by NC Star. It's a flip dot reflex sight for Glocks and Glock MOS pistols. I really had high hopes for this. I bought this in April 2018. I've been putting off this review because I really wanted to make this sight work, and it simply doesn't. It costs like $90, and for $90 you could get much better than this. As far as a RMR for a pistol, you won't. But if you're spending less than $90 anyway, you're not going to get something that's going to actually work for you. First issues I've had with this straight out of the box on a pistol that has a slide cut for an RMR, or using one of these risers that replaces your dovetail with something you can attach an RMR to. I had issues. It just simply wouldn't hit the point of impact on a pistol. 7 yards, 10 yards, 15 yards, 25 yards. I couldn't adjust this to actually hit the point of impact for any pistol I had. I tried it on a Springfield XD. I tried it on my Carry Glock 19. I tried it on this Glock 19. I absolutely couldn't get it to work. I really tried hard to make this product work for me. The very next issue I had, outside of the not hitting the point of impact, was 115 grain out of a 9mm with no muzzle brake on it. Flips this and locks it back every time, so you have to redeploy every time you take a shot. Completely useless for a carry pistol. So I was like, okay, I'll move it to my competition pistol and see if that works. 115 grain won't cycle the slide, so you have to move up to 124 grain. As soon as you hit 124 grain, same issue, locks back every time. I was like, okay, well, it's going to be competition. I'll jam a piece of rubber in here, taped it over, figuring it can't lock back. Well, introduce new problems. I want you to see this, because this is one of the biggest issues I've had with this. Is I barely put any pressure on this pin that holds basically this whole viewing area on. Any pressure, the slightest amount of pressure, and it slides right out. 4 or 5 shots, I mean, it's not tight at all. 4 or 5 shots, you could lose that pin and you lose your optic completely, and now you're just back down to iron sights. Other issues I had, they put these grooves in here to line up with your iron sights. Regular iron sights, suppressor height iron sights, or front posts, whatever you put on here, will never line up with this. This is just horrible. Not to mention that your elevation adjustment is right here, which just gets in the way if you were actually able to adjust that. I didn't want to be a complete loss, because I spent $90 on this, so I tried putting it on my AR9 and my AR15. On my AR9, I again couldn't get the dot adjusted up and down to hit the point of impact at 15, 25, or even 50 yards. It's just terrible with that. I put it on my AR15, hoping, competition, pop around my left side, use this canted mount. First of all, reaching over to hit this button to deploy it when you're already, in motion, it's kind of a pain in the ass. And then, again, I couldn't get that up and down adjustment on an AR-15 with it canted, without adding a super high riser on there. I was about, I want to say 6 feet off. I had to aim at the ground at about 75 yards to make it hit the target at 100 yards. It was just terrible. Another thing that's horrible about this, there's no brightness adjustments at all on this. Like, what you see is what you get, and it's not bright. I live in Washington State. It's gray 85% of the time, but even on like a day where the sun is trying to poke through, you can't see this up against a white background, a dirt background. Like, I ended up finding myself spending more time looking through this site trying to find the dot itself than I did actually shooting it. I'm really disappointed in this because it's a garbage product. It's essentially $90 that I threw away. I hope you guys don't ever do the same on this product. It's terrible. They have a new one out. Maybe they'll make adjustments to make it a better product, which I highly doubt, because the reviews that I have seen on it were reviews on Amazon, this is where I actually purchased it, and everybody had it on there, and they're like, oh, it looks great, it functions just perfectly, and like, I highly doubt those people actually ever fired it one time. If they would have fired it once, they would have seen for $90, this is a complete piece of garbage. So hopefully you don't make the same mistakes I do.